Hi, I'm Rylee, and I'm here to talk to you about two things that I'm quite passionate about. Good automated test suites and my cat. I was also told it was a good idea to tell you that the only person I have practiced this talk on so far is my cat. This is Zoe. Yeah, also notice that's my phone charger cable she's snuggled up with, so. We're gonna do test-driven development with the Zoe interface. Please raise your hand if you know what TDD means. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you've ever done any TDD. Cool, it's new to some of you. So TDD stands for test-driven development. And the reason I'm talking about test-driven development and automated test suites is many of us who do development find that when we walk into a new project for the first time, the first question might be, are there any tests written? And are they passing? And if you're really, really lucky, maybe there's a great test suite with this code base you just inherited. For there to be a great code base, how do you get there? Well, it really helps to be writing the tests as you're writing the software. So test-driven development is a particular approach to writing the tests as you're writing the software, which involves writing the test before you write the functionality to make that test pass. This is called red-green refactor. So in the first step, we write a test and we check to make sure that that test can run and is failing. We then write the code that allows that test to pass. And once we have a beginning, simple test that's passing, we can then get more sophisticated and start writing the code the way we really want it to be. So, yes, our scenario is that we have a cat and we want our cat to purr. So how do we approach this? Let's write a test. I come from the world of Ruby, which has this great testing library called rspec, and we call this specking out a feature. So here's what a simple test would look like in rspec. We are describing the cat class, and we want to have a test that if we create a new instance of the cat class called Zoe, we expect that if we call cat purrs that we get true. So we run the test, we make sure that the test can run and that it fails. And then we take the first approach to get the test passing. So often that first time you're getting a test passing isn't really the way it works in the real world. Like in this situation, we're assuming that every cat by default is a purrer. I take it some of you have had cats. So we've got a test, we verified that it's passing. It is literally green. So now we can refactor. We can say, what's the next step to make this code a more realistic representation of the behavior that we want it to have? So the next stab at it was to take a look at it and see, well, it's not going to be just a constant. It's going to be something that could change. So let's look at making all of these things changeable. So now purrs returns true only if the cat is not hungry, is awake, and is content. So we want to run the same test again to see if by default, as we're hoping, that the cat purrs. And we have a green passing test. So as we're developing software with this TDD approach, it doesn't work all the time, but when it does, it is an amazing thing to utilize because you have guardrails for adding new functionality to your software that allows you to build a more complex system as you go without painting yourself into corners. The thing that has made me love good test suites the most are those times where I decide I don't need to write them. And I think, I just have this one little change, just this one little thing. I'm gonna go change the name of this across all my classes. It'll be fine. And I spend 10 minutes, and then I run my tests. And then I spend the next day fixing the problem that I did because I forgot to make a commit beforehand. So while TDD doesn't work in every situation, if you find yourself working in a situation where it can help, use it. Also, I find that when walking into a completely new programming language, getting to do just a little bit of TDD makes me feel a whole lot more confident about this new tool that I'm utilizing. Coming from the world of Ruby, I started to feel comfortable with Clojure a little bit when I started being able to write tests, getting them to pass with new code, and being able to refactor them. So, repeat your red-green refactor cycle, account for variables, make your cat happy, and catch the bugs before your cat or users do. Thank you.